everyone, I am Jenny and I am going on a stash dive today. So the last couple of layouts I used this pack from Echo Park and a paper pad from Project Life, and I'm going to continue on with that. So I've got a few bits and pieces of paper in this kit that I want to use. I've grabbed one out. I'm thinking I've put a little bit of thought into it. I'm thinking I want to use this one as a background, and I haven't used a white piece of cardstock for a while, so I'm going to use a white piece of cardstock, and this is the photo that I want to use. So that's my daughter Johanna, and she just got her license to drive a car, so now she's doesn't need me to take her on lessons anymore. She's legal to drive on her own, so that's a big undertaking for her, and so I thought I would scrapbook that. And this is the piece of paper I'm going to use, the pad, and I've just grabbed a couple of little things. I wanted to use that Brilliant from Heidi Swap. I pulled these just in case, so some little mini market stickers from October Afternoon, and I grabbed these the other day at my local Spotlight, and they were like $1, and they used to be $5.99 or something, and they were down for $1, so I thought I would use them. And I pulled out a stencil, and I'll put it on the black, hopefully you can see that better. Not sure who this is from. I just pull them out and get rid of the packaging so I can store them flat in a box. So I thought I might use that with a little bit of gold and a little bow that I made that time from those hair clips. Got a couple of little stick pins and a couple of leftover gold stickers. So I thought that I might try to incorporate all of these bits and pieces and make a layout. So, I thought I might use with the stencil some gold colour shine. So thought that might look nice as a little bit of a background pattern, but not too overwhelming. So anyway, I'll see how I go, and I will put you on fast forward. Okay, so all I've done is I've grabbed a pizza box. So no, it didn't have pizza in it. Sorry, I can't share. But this is my little spray booth. So it's an old pizza box, and a lot of our scrapbooking supplies get sent to us in these boxes. They're the perfect size. And I've got the stencil laying in there, and I'm using the paper towel that I've put down so that I don't have any lines, perfect square lines from that stencil. So I didn't want to have any straight edges showing. So all I'm doing is using that paper towel that you can see me place down to stop those harsh edges. And then I'm just mopping up the little bit of excess ink and using the little paper towels to do that. So it's just a quick spray, mop it up, and then that was it. So I turned it over and I've rubbed a little bit of the excess that was on the other side onto the background. So I've just put that aside for the moment, and I'll deal with that box later with all the tissue. And I wiped up my bench as it had some of the spray had gotten out, so just cleaned that up. And I'm just gutting the center of this paper out so that I can use the center for some layering. So just having a look at which way I want this stencil to go, and because the bricks behind my daughter's head go in a horizontal way, I wanted the pattern to go that way as well, so as not to confuse the eye. So I'm just grabbing my heat gun and turning that on and giving it a little bit of a dry. So it wasn't too buckled, but it was buckled enough. It wasn't too wet, I'm sorry, it was wet enough that I needed to put the heat gun on. So I've just got some thick, you saw me put some thick double-sided tape around the edges, and that just holds the page firmly to that outside border. So now I'm just getting on with setting out the layout. So because the P plate, so here in Australia or in Western Australia where I'm from, the people who have just got their license go on red P plates for a year, and I think after a year or two it swaps to green P plates, and then they come off them. And during P plate driving license time, it's a non-alcohol time. So for the 2 years, if they were to be caught with alcohol in their system, it would be an instant dismissal for their license. So anyway, that's a little bit of a sidetrack. So what I wanted to do was, because it had the red in the P's, I just wanted to pull out some red background pieces of paper and use those as my matting. So I don't want this to be a square mat, I just want it to be you know, irregular in shape. So I've got some little pieces at all different angles, so not so much a harsh angle that your eye doesn't like it, but just a little bit of an angle in there. So I've just cut the little pieces of paper that you're not going to see, because I can use them for layering in other projects. And so I just, yeah, as you can see, just matting that photo up, and there I go there trying to use those little pieces that I cut off, but I'm not going to use them. So I've grabbed out those cork. I forgot to tell you earlier on that they are actually cork circles, and I've grabbed them out, and they are on a little bit of acetate, so I can just cut around them and see where I would like them to go, so I don't have to stick them down and commit to it and then realize, oh, I don't actually like them there at all. I can just place them around and, yeah, see whether I like them or not. So I'm pretty happy with where I want to place that photo mat. As you know, if you've watched my videos, I like them to be off-centered, and I always naturally go for the right hand side of the page and lower. So for this one, I know that I do want to do some journaling, so I don't particularly like doing journaling. I'm always a little bit scared that I'm going to mess up my page, and I really like the layout that I've created, and then I think that I'm going to mess it up by adding writing, but I'm trying this year to let go of that and just to do it. So I see lots of people drawing black lines and using a black pen, and I really liked that idea of having the lines there, and it looks like another little element to the page, so I'm going with it. So I've just grabbed those Heidi Swap words and noticed that they had a few little circle elements on there as well, so I am using them as well as the cork circles to add a little bit of interest to my page. So I'm just spelling out the word freedom with these little mini market stickers, and I'm going to use that as part of my title. So now here you will see me lose the battle with this word. So these words are fantastic when they are on the acetate sheet, but man, did I struggle with getting them in the right place once they were off the acetate. They stretch and they were super sticky, so in the end my layout, my word isn't straight, it's got a bit of a curve to it, but it stuck really hard to the photo and there was no way that I was able to move it. So it is what it is. I don't know if I'm the only one who fights with those little words stickers. I am sure that I'm not. So now I'm just building up some clusters, and I've pretty much, you know, as you can see, I've got lots of circle elements happening around the outsides, and I want to build up a few little word elements around the edges and have some jutting off the square border so that it's not so, like I said before, I don't want it to be so square in shape to look at. I want to have some little pieces poking out at all irregular little bits of shape. So nothing really straight and perfect, just, yeah, where my eye thinks it needs to have something jutting out a little bit, I'll put something. So I've just got a couple of those little stickers, the gold, I think they were a an original Maggie Holmes sheet, I think, the gold letters. I know I've had them in my stash forever. And yeah, just decided that I need to use them up. So you saw me pull off that red lips that I had stuck there near the smile, and when I pulled that up, it pulled some of the photo off, and so I replaced that red lips with this little one that says follow your heart in aqua. So I just decided that it was too much red all in the one place with the red background and the word that says smile, and so I just changed it around a little bit. I'm still trying to find a place to use that little red lips, but I end up putting it away and not using them. So I'm just checking it out to see whether I can add something else, maybe a couple of little arrows, and I decide that I'm going to use some of the little shapes that are on this sticker sheet too, and I place them down and I end up moving them to some different areas on the page. So I thought first of all that I would like to layer them up, but then, you know, everything else wasn't layered up, so I decided to keep it all uniform and not have lots of layering of the little individual pieces. So I've just pulled out my date stamp, and it says remember this, December 18th 2014, so my daughter remembers when she got her license. And I've just pulled out those chipboard stickers that I've been using the last couple of times, and I'm adding a couple of little flower elements and a few little butterflies to the page. So and as you can see, I've done the journaling. So the video, I stopped the video to do the journaling so that I didn't get stage fright, and so I wouldn't bore you or stick my big head in the screen. So that's magic of video processing. I can jump ahead and yeah, have it done. So just finishing off these last little bits, and the video stops, and the only thing that I added was one tiny little flower underneath the hello piece over at the right hand side, and that was it. And so here are the close-ups, and I will see you next time. Thank you for joining me. Have a beautiful day. Bye.